Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be playing a few rapid games. I think I'm going to just play two games on the Lichess Pool with this account. And I'm going to make two of these videos in succession. So first off, it will be like reasonably timed. It won't be too long, and there could be like some content in between when I'm researching all of these other topics and other openings. So yeah, I'm just hoping that I can get a pairing, and I'll just take it slow and try to explain my thought process behind the moves. Um, yeah. Normally I'm a blitz player, but I'm taking a break, like a small break from blitz, and hoping that I can, um, yeah, I can just like chill a bit and, yeah, try to recuperate my blitz strength. Anyways, I'm playing my normal opening, e4, e5, so knight f3. Mouse is a bit off, but okay. Maybe I'll get a book or something. Okay, so queen f6 is not a really good move. First off, I rarely face this move because it's not a very good one, but I'm thinking either to play d4 or bishop c4. Both look very natural. I could just play bishop c4 in, normal style here, and I don't think there should be any problems here. I mean, the bishop looks great here, and there's no immediate rush to play d4, so... And in this position, I'll just castle. And c6 doesn't actually threaten d5 because my bishop and pawn are there. So yeah. This kind of like pushing of pawns and wasting a lot of time is really apparent in the lower levels. Yeah, and it's just a very basic threat here, but it's like not really anything to be concerned of. So first off, I can consider playing either a3 or a4. I'm thinking that I want to play a move like a4, just so that if they take, I can take with the bishop, and that's the bishop is pretty nice there. And if I play a3, then after a4, bishop back, then, yeah, I mean, I just don't want to waste some extra time with this bishop going back one move. So I'm just going to play a4 here immediately. And I think black is already a lot worse here. Yeah, okay, so b4 is already not a very good move. I can already play a move like d4 just to open up the position. And I've already like developed two of my pieces, and I've already castled. My rook is ready to come to e1 later, so I'm pretty sure d4 is just the right move. And after takes, I can play possibly like bishop g5. So I'll just break with in the center with d4. And after e takes d, I can also consider a move like e5 here. Yeah, e5, and then maybe queen e7, like knight g5 is a possibility. So all of these ideas come to life when one side has a massive lead in development, I think. So let's see what black does here. And as much as possible in the post-game analysis, I'm gonna try to minimize my use of the engine. Maybe in just some critical moments. I want to keep this kind of human. Okay, first off, that's not a very good move because I can take an e5 with the pawn, and it's gonna hit the queen with the tempo. So I think that's a pretty easy decision to make here. I mean, rook e1 is also possible, obviously, but rook e1, d6. And then d6, I can take and the bishop g5. But then there's gonna be queen d6. So that doesn't lead to much, I think. I mean, I could take on e5, but yeah, I don't think that's too, that maximizes my advantage. So I'll just take the pawn for free. And then now I can even consider knight g5 here. Because if the rook is taken, there's going to be bishop f7, king e7, and queen d6 mate. But the only defense that I see is possibly like a knight h6, which looks reasonable. But maybe I can add the pressure with queen f3. Yeah, knight g5 just looks like the right move in this position. Yeah, and the knight on h6 looks quite bad. But of course I need to act fast if I want to punish it. So yeah, that is not very good because this is just made in two moves. So queen d6 is going to be made after king e7, which is forced. So yeah. Nice game. Okay. So we get the victory. I don't think there's much to comment about that game because Queen f6 first off is not a very good move. It blocks the square where the knight wants to develop ideally. And here, yeah, c6 also doesn't do anything. Possibly the most reasonable way is just to develop with the bishop and just try to castle quickly, admitting that the queen on f6 just is a badly placed piece, something like that. But maybe I kind of missed here. Is there like queen g6 here? I'm wondering. Attacks e4 and attacks this guy. So I'm wondering what happens after knight e5. Take queen e4, queen e2. Yeah, this one doesn't look too bad for black, actually. I think white should still be better because of the development, but black pawn structure is very solid, I think. Maybe queen g6, yeah. So I just want to analyze the game, I mean, just the position in this moment. I think d4 is better, but knight c3 is also better, yeah. I didn't consider knight c3 because I wanted to get the bishop out, then he just castle, but possibly knight c3 is better. Yeah, just knight c3 at some point threatening knight d5, and I think this is already close to winning. But bishop c4 is fine, but it's not the best. And here, yeah, I could have broken the center with d4, but I just played conservative here and just did this. And you see, even like as black wastes more time, that the evaluation just skyrockets for white. And so here, I'm just wondering, I'm pretty sure a4 is the right move. Yeah, a4. The difference between a4 and a3, I think it's just based on experience. You have to know that a4 is better. Then here d4. Then here, yeah. Rook e1 is possible, but I just took the pawn. Queen d8 and knight g5 is a good move. Knight h6, queen f3 was what I was thinking. Then like queen e7 is forced, I think. Yeah, and even something like rook d1, and suddenly black just can't move because the bishop can't move out because the queen is in the way, and this is just a horrible position. So I guess we'll look for another game. Yeah, I'll go for 10 plus 5. Okay, 1600. Let's go. I'll play my normal openings and see what happens. Okay, e6. I'm wondering what to play now because I have my normal dubious weapon, which is the Ortho Schnapp, which happens after c4, which gambits pawn. But I can also just play classical with d4, I think. And I'm just going to try to test out my opponent on some theory here. I've been recently researching the advanced French, and I don't think it's a particularly good weapon. I mean, black has like at least 2 ways to equalize, I think, in the advanced French. But I think that if you don't have enough experience and you've never looked at these lines in depth, then you're going to make a lot of mistakes. And here a3 is the move that I think is a lot better than bishop e2. But both c4, I think now it's like c4 now, and then knight a5 or something like that. Yeah, c4, knight d2, and then knight a5. That's a line, I think. But also knight g7. I thought this was bad, actually, not g7 first. No. This was, I think, playable. Because the point is that if I take on c5, there's going to be queen c7, and then it's going to pressure this pawn. So yeah. I think this is a playable line, but I'm going to have to... Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I think I can just continue with b4 here, which is a typical plan with this a3, c3 setup. Just to continue with b4. Because if I take on c5 now, there's going to be queen c7, and the e5 pawn becomes loose. Like bishop f4, knight g6, and I think the pawn drops, so I'll just continue with b4, I think is best. And here taking on d4, then playing knight f5, I think is the theory here. And then white has a couple of options, either bishop b2 or bishop e3. Okay, taking on d4, yeah, I think this is correct. And then playing knight f5. Yeah, so this is a reasonable position for black. I think this is already basically equal. And so bishop e2 is like by far the main move, but I think bishop e3 is very interesting. I haven't done enough analysis on it, but I think that it just poses black some practical problems if they don't know what they're doing. Like taking on e3 is probably already a mistake, because it opens up the f-file and I can attack down the f-file there. Yeah, bishop e3 looks like a very strange move because the bishop doesn't look good there, but I'm just reasoning that I need to defend the d4 pawn as much as possible. And if I can get in like bishop d3 and my other bishop is like is very good, then it's gonna maybe compensate. So a5 I don't think is a really good move, because after I push the pawn, the knight cannot go there, and so it's gonna be forced to retreat, and that's not a very good square for the knight. It's gonna be like some superfluous knights, I think that's what they call it. So knight c3, a4, and if I take, there's gonna be queen a5. I think that's interesting. Knight d7, knight c3, a4, queen d2. Yeah, I think I'm gonna play knight c3 now, because I'm threatening knight a4, and so they probably need to play a4 and see that after knight takes a4, there's queen a5, which just wins for black. So let's see what black does in this position. Yeah, white should be still okay. Take on this. Yeah, taking on e3, as I mentioned before, is not a good move, I think. With possibly knight f5 coming, but I can just play queen d2 and then bishop d3, and this is gonna be kind of unpleasant for black, I think. Castles, maybe even g4, and then like, yeah, some ideas of the knight jumping in, pressuring f7 or something. Also bishop d3 just taking on f5, and then after the pawn takes, the pawn is gonna drop, so that's also a possibility. Let's play bishop d3 now, and there's already an immediate threat, I think, of taking on f5, because yeah, takes and then takes, queen d8, and that's just gonna be overwhelming, I think. So g6 possibly needs to be played here, but it doesn't look very pretty. And then I'll just castle, and I think the position is a lot better. So now I don't think there's a reason not to castle, but can I consider knight a4? Knight a4, queen d8, because knight a4, queen c7 just gives an extra tempo to the rook. Knight a4, queen d8. Is there a reason for the knight to be on a4? I'm not so sure, so I think castling is just very logical here. Yeah, I think I need to do more analysis into the bishop e3 line. It might revive my my opinion of this entire line. e4 looks interesting. Why can't I play it now? e4, I'm threatening to take on d5. They take. Yeah, looks interesting. Why not play e4? Is there a reason not to? I mean, I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, e4 just just undoubles my pawns, breaks in the center, and gains a lot of space. After takes, the pawn cannot be taken because of rook b1. Or like even rook fb1, yeah. That's maybe better even. I think I'm gonna take with the bishop, because if I take with the knight, there may be like knight f5 business. Now a knight f5. Yeah, I think I should just like... Okay, that's a really bad move because it falls right into the pin. And this is already losing because the bishop is being pinned right now. So if my opponent consider like, I mean, is the pawn capturable or not, then it should be pretty easy after that, seeing that the b file is now opened. So this should be a relatively easy victory. Yeah, and I'll possibly come up with the my analysis on the advanced French in a few weeks at least. I've done most of the bulk of research, but I'm still not very confident, as I've tried to play it a few times and it hasn't really worked out well for me. So now I can take here with the rook and then just capture on b7. I think that's the cleanest. So here, and then now I'm double attacking on b7 as well. And yeah, black is not gonna have any ounce of compensation here. Here, okay, first off I can just take on b7, and I think, yeah, that's a fork as well. I'll just take here, and then I'll just like maybe double up on the b file. Rook b1. I want to consider a funny tactic here. Bishop a3, and then like queen a2. No, okay, so there won't be back rank problem here because actually the bishop after it takes can like just retreat to f8. So I shouldn't be too fancy here and just... I think blinking h1 is very reasonable. Unpinning the pawn. Okay, that's a reasonable move. Can just play like maybe even d5. d5 looks pretty good actually. Just activating more of my pieces. If the knight can come in, it's gonna be very easy here. Or even the queen. Yeah. Now this is just a matter of conversion, I think. Okay, now the question is to take with the knight or take with the queen. If I take with the queen, there's an immediate threat of rook b7. Yeah, I mean, there's no really big consideration here to be had. I mean, queen takes here, and if I get like, for example, queen b7, I trade off the queens, then I'm just going to be easily winning anyways. So there's no real reason to complicate things. Yeah, so now I can just play like queen b7, I think. Trade off the queens. Then I'll just make a pre-move. And I don't think there's a way for me to mess this up. Okay. Yeah, there's not much to be considered. Either you trade the queens or you move the bishop, for example, to f8. Now I'm attacking the bishop, so... Yeah, once it moves back, I mean, I can just play a4 and then knight b5, and then it's all over, I think. Or I can play even like rook b1. Be a bit fancy, right? Bishop f8, rook b1, and then take on e3, I can just trade off the rooks. And then the knight should come in, I think. Rook b1. And I'm hoping on the fact of taking on here, and then I can trade off the rooks. Okay, then I'll play rook b8 now, and that's going to be a pin on the bishop. This is going to be very difficult, I think. Okay, so now I can just play like knight d5. Oh, shoot, that actually just hangs my knight. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention for 1 second there. So, yeah, don't do what I did. Don't do what I did. I do have some tricks, though. Yeah, that's what happens if you don't pay attention to the board. Now I'm just threatening to bring the other rook in, and it's gonna be a pin. Pin and win. So yeah, I think I can just execute this idea. And there are no back rank ideas here. So luckily, yeah, this is still as winning as before. Even more so now, because there's possibly a mating threat even. h4 and h5, and then take on h7 somehow. Yeah, so I'm wondering what black's next move is gonna be. Okay, so now I'll just take here, and that should be mate in a few. Like knight g5. I want to do this because if they play h6, there's gonna be a rook f7 immediately mate. And if not, I'm gonna play h4 and then try to prepare rook f7 and take on h7 with mate also. Yeah, so I think the biggest danger is in me playing like these kind of slow games is just what I showed you before, with taking my eye off the board for 1 second and then just blundering a piece. which is not a very good, not very good from, yeah, not a very good thing. Okay, I can play e6 also. That's just very fancy, I think. I'll play h4 first, give some loot to the king. And then now if like king h5, I can play maybe either g3 or I just push the pawn. I think that's going to be easily winning. Yeah, push the pawn here. It's going to promote. Okay. Okay, so that's possibly like the only move there. So guess I'll play the rook here. I can also play just knight f3. Everything looks good here, to be honest. I can also just harass the knight once more. Knight c7, e7, knight e7. I can play rook f7, I think. Okay, so that move, yeah, I think I'm gonna play like either rook here, so knight c6 doesn't hit my rook at tempo, and my other rook can't even be hit with a knight move, can't go to g6. So I think rook here is very clean, I think. Because also like king h4, I have knight f3 intermezzo, and then the king will have to like move away, and then I can take the knight. Play knight f3, intermezzo, then I take the knight next. So I just need to watch out about any back ranks, but there shouldn't be anything. Let's see, let's just calculate a bit. Okay, no. King g3 would have been the only try, but yeah, for example, rook c6, knight e5 just wins. Yeah, there's no chance here. Rook h7, rook h4 also is mate. Or maybe like, yeah, actually no, it's not mate because it has, black has king g3, but I just king h2 maybe. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this pawn. Now there's actually a mate threat being intensified with king h2, covering g3. Yeah, this should be over in a second. Okay, so I'll just push the pawn and it's gonna promote. Yep, I think this is an easy win. If I somehow manage to find a way to mess this up, I should probably retire, but yeah, alright. My opponent just resigns. Good game. So yeah, given that I've already played like 2 games, I guess that's just gonna be the end of the video. I'm gonna upload, I mean the second part of this should already be up by the time that, yeah, by the time that this video is up. So, because I'm gonna be uploading them simultaneously. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, then please just like the video, subscribe, share it if you liked it. You can request any other topics that you want to know about, especially in theory, because I love theory. So yeah, just do that in the comments below. Thanks everyone for watching. Please stay safe and have fun playing chess. Bye bye.